Hey everybody, welcome to Bones Collector. Today on this video I'm going to talk to you about something that happens to people who play board games. We go to conventions quite often, and every once in a while these conventions, when you're playing so many games, you play one game that you immediately realize you're in love with it. When that happens, you go to wherever you got to go to, whatever lengths you got to go to get that game. And one of the games that I fell in love with when we played at Dice Tower Con, and a couple of years ago, I don't know which Dice Tower Con it was, but it was at Dice Tower Con. When we played this game, I really knew instantly that I had to have it. But the game was very difficult to find. It was out of print, had been out of print for a couple of years. But unbeknownst to me, there was a Kickstarter that went on in 2018. I don't know how that got by me, but it did. And I didn't back the Kickstarter, so I didn't get a copy. But the game is very hard to find. So we kept looking for it, and I'd go to board game flea markets and virtual flea markets at conventions and try to find this game. I just had no luck. But my wife talked to somebody on Facebook, and they said that Board Game Bliss in Canada was going to have this game. Of course, Canadian people are so nice and kind, so we contacted them and got ourselves a copy of the game that I'm about to show you that I fell in love with at that convention that I just had to have, and I've been looking for it for years. And I cheated and opened the top tape of the box. Get this stuff out of here, because we don't care. We just want to know what's in the box. And the game I'm talking about that I fell in love with that day was Finca. Oh man, I tell you. I played this game, Lori and I played this game, and we really loved it. It's a medium weight Euro style game, and that's where we love to play. And if you watch my videos, you know that. Big heavy Euro games and epic fantasy adventures that take 3 and 4 hours are just not our cup of tea. There's great games, don't get me wrong, and for people who play them, hey, I'm not trying to insult you at all. If you love those styles of games and want to play those types of games, hey, great. There's games for everyone and everyone's taste. But for us, we like to sit at the gaming table for maybe an hour, play a wonderful game that's lots of fun that we can laugh and giggle about and have a great time, and Finca fits that bill. So let's tear into the Finca here and let's see what's in this box, because I cannot wait to play it. I haven't played it since that convention. Oh my gosh. Oh. This got here last night, and I've been chomping at the bit to get it open, so it's really killing me right now. Okay, what do we got here? A rule book. Go figure. I like that. Now, I understand that they made some changes to the game. I think the board has gotten bigger and some things like that, so we'll see if that, because you know how I feel about large game boards. I like smaller game boards just because I like everything to be close to us when we play. Well, let's see what we got here. This is another rule book in another language. Hey, all right. There's a couple of rule books, a couple of different languages. And what do we got here? Expansion in this game is called El Razul. Yeah, El Razul. So that's the rules to the expansion. We'll see how that turns out to be. And bunch of punch boards, and as you can see, there's the board itself. We'll open that up here in a second. In this game, you're going to be working a rondel on the board that's a windmill, and those are some of the blades of the windmill right there. Let me punch a couple of those out real quick. Oh boy, I'm so excited, I can't stand it. So there, those are the blades of the windmill. They're going to go around in a rondel, and we'll set this board up and see what we're dealing with here. That's not too bad. I don't remember how big the board was in the game, the original game that we played. It's been so long ago, so I don't know if this really is bigger or not. So what do we else we got in the box here? We got some extra bags, which is always appreciated, and all the fruity tokens and Fincas. Fincas are the buildings you're going to place on the board when you empty out a space of tiles. Boy, I tell you what, these tiles look amazing. Ugh, I'm just so crazy hyped up right now. I want to play this game. Everything punching out real nice and easy. That's always a good sign that This Kickstarter was a quality job, well done, and this is the stand for the little guy here. All right. Hopefully that's the first player token. I don't know what else it would be. But yeah, that's Finca.
It's El Razul.
Oh, you got to use him, do you, in order to do the expansion?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. These are the tiles that go on the board in different locations. You can see this one has a 6 on it. 6. I don't know what those are. Figs or olives or I don't know. No, those would be grapes.
Those are 6 of anything.
Oh, 6 of anything. And these are one. What is that? I don't know what those are. Grapes? It's the purple ones. That's what I'm going to call them. These are pecans, I'm pretty sure.
Almonds.
Almonds. And punch out some donkeys. I like everything I'm seeing so far. I don't think it's changed at all. Maybe the board's a little bit bigger, but again, I haven't played it in quite a while. So I really couldn't give you a definitive answer for that, but I'm really, really excited about it. And again, this is a game that Lori and I really loved immediately. And look at all those fruit tokens that you're going to have in this game. I'm telling you what, it's a lot of fun, and I can't wait to play it again. We just had the best time with this game. And there's your bonus tiles for completing contracts. That's what they look like. There's a 4, 5, 6, and 7 point tiles. And they would stack up on the board. And that's Finca. I couldn't wait to get it open, couldn't wait to look at it and see what it looked like. And it looks like everything in here is something that we're really, really going to be happy with. It's a nice production and it's a wonderful game. And the game designer, you know, and I should have looked it up for a video, but the game designer is Ralph Zerlin and Wolfgang Sendker. But I'm not familiar with those guys. This game plays 2 to 4 players in 45 minutes, 10 and up. But the game is a lot of fun. So I'm going to set this game up and we're going to play it, and I'll tell you about it at the end of the video. Okay, I'm back, and I have played Finca 5 times since the unboxing. I just want to show you a little bit about how the game is played, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. To begin this game, players are going to take turns placing their farmers on the blade of the windmill. And you do that simply by looking at this board, deciding what it is you want to accomplish as far as these tiles are concerned. Each one of them has a fruit requirement. This one takes 2 almonds and 3 olives. This one takes 2 almonds. This one takes 2 figs, 2 lemons. So you can see how this works. And you want to look at those resources on the windmill, and those are the things you want to go after. So if I place my farmer on this blade that gives me grapes, I would simply take a grape from the reserve. Now if the next player places theirs on the grapes also, they would take 2 because there's 2 farmers there. And then you continue to do that until you've all placed your farmers. So it would begin looking something like this to start the game. And again, you don't have to place them any specific place. You just want to think about what you need to complete on this board. And then also you have to think about, you start the game with no donkeys, and that's those round discs in the middle, and you have to have a donkey cart to deliver any of the goods. So you might want to place your farmer close to the 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock blade of the windmill, because once you cross those, that's when you get a donkey. So I always think about that when I'm playing the game, where I want to place those things. But that working this rondelle is the key to this game. And once the game begins, of course, you're going to start the movement mechanism of this game, and you move according to how many farmers are on that particular blade where you want to take your farmer from. So in this instance, if I was going to move this farmer, there's 2 farmers on there, I would have to move 2 blades. So you're always thinking about how many spaces you have to move and what resources you're going to acquire at the end of your movement. Now there's some special tiles that you get that can help with that. I think this one gives you an extra turn. This one, you can place your farmer anywhere on the windmill, but you only get to use that once. It's a one-time use and it's done for the game. But those are kind of cool. And then there's other ones here that let you score a max 10. I'll tell you about that in a second. And then this one allows you to pay one less resource or one less fruit for one of the tiles that you're going to acquire. So again, it's movement around this rondel is the key to the strategy in this game. And then you're going to look at the board and decide what you want to do as far as deliveries when you have your turn. So the maximum delivery is only 6 fruits. So you could do a 3 and a 3, or a 3, a 2, and a 1, or just a 6. And there's 6-point tiles in here. So you want to kind of think about that when you're doing your deliveries, to try to get as close to that 6-point maximization as possible, because it's more efficient. And then once one of these stacks gets emptied, the player will take this, look at it, and see this one has a lemon and olives on it. Now the player that took the last tile out of the stack doesn't necessarily get those 5 bonus points. It's the player that has the most olives and lemons on the tiles that they've already taken off the board. So you have to go through your tiles and count, see who's got the most, and that player would take that 5 bonus points and put it next to their side of the board. So that's pretty cool. And you're going to run around the board doing this, and that's really the crux of the game. I mentioned the different values on these tiles on the board. They go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And once you've gotten a complete set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you can go up here to this compass on the board, and it has these bonus tiles. And excuse me, they go 7, 6, 5, and 4. The early bird gets the worm. If you complete the first set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you take this, you get 7 points. The next person that does it gets 6 points, 5 points, and 4 points. So you don't want to totally neglect those. Then once the stack has been taken off the board, all those tiles have been gone, we've discussed how to use the bonus tile, how that goes. Once that's taken off the board, then you'll place a wooden finca on the board like that, because that area of this island has been completely emptied. So once all 4 of these fincas are placed, that triggers the end of the game. And I mean, it ends right now. The person that places that last finca, game over. It's all done. You count your points on your tiles and your bonus tiles, and any of these you have left over are 2 points. Your special powers tiles. Now I would suggest using these before the game's done, because you can do a lot better than 2 points. But if you have them left over, they're worth 2 points apiece. You add everything up, and that's the end of the game. And that's why this game is so beautiful. We played 2 times yesterday. We played it 3 times this morning. And we played the 3 games this morning in 1 hour and 20 minutes, I think. That's 3 games in 1 hour and 20 minutes. It's so nice to play something that fast that has some great mechanics in it that flow seamlessly together. And working this rondel is such a beautiful thing. There's so much to think about in just this little game, this little board, and this rondel. It's just a joy to play. And when you have a 200 game library like we have, you really don't want games that are so complex that you have to watch an hour playthrough and read the rule book for a half an hour before you can play the game, because you haven't revisited that game in a year. This type of game here we really, really love, because my wife Lori goes through and she makes a few crib notes about the game. And what we can do when we play Finca again, whenever we play, is we pull out these crib notes. Oh yeah, those little nuances, those little rules that you forget because you haven't played it in a while. We review this one little sheet, and we're off and running playing the game in 5 minutes. And that's what I really, really like. This game, Finca, probably should be in everyone's library because it's so much fun. Now also in this new issue, the new game didn't have the expansion. There was an expansion that was released later, El Razul, I guess it's called, and this is what's in El Razul. We've got a couple of tiles that go on the board. These are called drought tiles, I believe, and they say -2 on them. If you take that, you get the 2 points, but you take 2 of every resource out of the reserve. That really tightens the game up, and there's 2 of these. So if players were to take both of these, you'd end up removing 4 of every resource out of the reserve. Now, when you're in a 2-player game, the resources are cut in half anyway. You only have 9 of each. So you'd be removing 4, so it'll only be 5 of each. And man, that really gets tricky when you're doing that. So that expansion adds that. And then also there's a couple of blades that go on the windmill that are special. If you land on this blade, you get your choice of whatever fruit, But, and again, the same rules apply. If there are 2 farmers on here already, you move there, you get 3 of whatever resource you want. You get your pick. That's a pretty cool blade. And then this blade, you get your pick of 2, and 2 of the same, so you'd have to take 2 figs, 2 oranges, 2 lemons, something like that if you moved on to this tile on the windmill. And then also this little figurine, Razul, he is on the board, and wherever he happens to be sitting, you, in the case of this tile where you need 2 oranges and 2 grapes, you could use 2 and 2 of anything. So you could use 2 figs and 2 lemons per se, even though they're not on this tile, as long as Razul is sitting there. And then when you land on this blade, it has a picture of Razul. You have to remember you get 2 resources of any kind, and then you have to move Razul to a new territory on the island. So that's pretty cool too. And then you also get a special movement tile for your farmer. You can move anybody's farmer to any space, you know, within the movement rules, and that's what comes in the expansion. And we added it in and played it the last 2 games, and it's a lot of fun. It adds a little more something else to think about in the game, but you don't need it. But you know, if you happen to get the newer copy and it's in there, hey, great. The game plays wonderfully without it. It's an excellent, excellent board game. Just the type of board game that Lori and I love to play and have in our library. We really, really enjoy the size of this board, and I love the game. You can't tell, can you? I could just talk about it all day. Well, again, we've played it 5 times in the last 2 days, and really, really enjoyed it. I hope you get the opportunity to play it at your local convention or your local game store. There's lots of stores popping up now where you can go to play board games. And if you can get Finca to the table, I think you'll have a lot of fun doing it. So, hey, that's it. That's Finca. And please like and subscribe to this channel. Please subscribe. I have 190 subscribers now. That's wonderful. I love every one of you. And please, please keep on board gaming because it's the best hobby on the planet. See you later.